Hello friends, this is the fifth video on the limit of a function. In this video I will try to describe the ideas of one-sided limits, infinite limits and limits at infinity. So according to our class 11-12 curriculum, we are familiar with the ideas of left hand limit, right hand limit, but in this case we will try to describe such thing in more analytical way. We know that limit extends to 0 signum x does not exist. We have done this in previous video. But if we restrict the domain, if we restrict the signum function to the interval 0 infinity and minus infinity 0, in that case limits exist. So limit extends to 0 plus signum x is 1 and limit extends to 0 minus signum x is minus 1. Now, so both sided limits may not exist, or even neither two-sided limits not exist. First of all, what's the idea of left hand limit at some point? Suppose A is a limit point of the set x belongs to D where x less than A, and D is a real subset of R and the function defined from D to R. Then limit extends to A minus fx equals to L. That means the left hand limit is L at the point A. That means the difference fx minus L should be less than some pre-assigned epsilon for all A minus a delta less than x less than A, where delta is any positive number. So for given epsilon there exists some positive delta. Similarly, if A is a limit point of such set where x greater than A, then limit extends to A plus fx equals to L prime. That means right hand limit is L prime. That means the difference fx minus L prime should be less than some arbitrary positive epsilon for all A less than x less than A plus delta. So for given epsilon there exists positive delta. So these are the ideas of left hand limit and right hand limit for some function at given point. Now I will leave this theorem to prove yourself. The theorem is very straightforward. This states that suppose D is a real subset of R and f is a function from D to R. If A is a limit point of both D intersection A infinity and D intersection minus infinity A, then limit extends to A fx equals to L if and only if limit extends to A plus fx is L, as well as limit extends to A minus fx is also L. That means limit at some point will be L if and only if the right hand limit and the left hand limits at that point must be equal. So this is very straightforward theorem. You will try to prove this. Now I will discuss about infinite limits. That means what will happen if limit is infinite. We know that limit extends to 0 1 by x square is infinity. The graph has been shown here. So I will try to explain a theorem which states the condition that when limit will be infinite. Suppose D is a real subset of R, and f is defined from D to R. If A is a limit point of D, then limit extends to A fx is infinite. That means for each real number alpha there exists some delta 1, that means some positive delta which is dependent on alpha, such that fx should be greater than alpha for all a mod x minus A less than delta 1. That means fx should be bigger than the real number alpha for all x minus A less than delta 1. Similarly, limit extends to A fx is minus infinity. That means for each real number beta there exists some delta 2 positive number such that fx should be smaller than beta for all 0 less than mod x minus a less than delta 2. Now comes this theorem. This theorem states that suppose a is a limit point of some real subset D, and there are two functions fx and gx where fx is less or equals to gx for all x belongs to D. Then this theorem ensures that if limit extends to a fx is infinity, then through the given condition we will get limit extends to a gx will be infinity. Similarly, B part says that if limit extends to a gx is minus infinity, then according to the given condition limit extends to a fx will be minus infinity. So I will only prove the first part, second part is similar to the first one. So for the first part, suppose we are considering a real number alpha. Suppose alpha is some given real number. Then since limit extends to a fx is infinity, then clearly there exists some delta dependent on alpha positive number such that 0 less than mod x minus a less than delta such that fx should be greater than alpha. That's the definition of infinite limit. But it is given that fx is less or equals to gx. So fx greater than alpha and fx less or equals to gx, that means gx should be greater than alpha. When we have 0 less than mod x minus a less than delta, so clearly we will have limit extends to a gx is infinity. So from the infinite limit for fx we get limit extends to a gx is infinity, and similarly the b part can be done. And there is one more notion, that is limits at infinity. So what will be the limit at the point plus infinity or minus infinity? Suppose D is a real subset and f is a function defined from D to R. If a infinity is a subset of D, then limit extends to infinity fx is L. That means L is the limit at infinity. That implies that for any given pre-assigned positive epsilon, there exists some number m which is bigger than a such that the difference fx minus L should be less than epsilon for all x greater than capital M. So this is the definition of limits at infinity. So that means if a infinity is a subset of D, then limit at infinity implies that the difference fx minus L should be less than some pre-assigned value for all x greater than capital M, where capital M is bigger than the point A. Similarly, limit extends if minus infinity A is a subset of D, then limit extends to minus infinity fx is L prime. That means limit at minus infinity. This implies that for any given pre-assigned value epsilon, there exists some k which is smaller than the point A such that mod fx minus L prime should be less than epsilon for all x lesser than k. Now there is a theorem. This states that suppose a in infinity is a subset of D for some real value a, then if fx is positive for all x belongs to a infinity, and if limit of fx at the point infinity is L, then that limit should be non-negative. So it is given that the function is positive throughout the interval a infinity and the limit at the point infinity is L. So how can we prove that the limit is non-negative? First of all, if possible, let L is negative and let us choose epsilon such that L plus epsilon is negative. So if limit at the point infinity is L, That means that there exists some number m which is bigger than a, such that mod fx minus L should be less than epsilon for all x bigger than capital M. Also, L plus epsilon is negative. So clearly fx is negative for all x greater than m, but that contradicts the given condition that fx is positive throughout the interval a infinity, and it is given that m is bigger than a. So in one case we have fx is negative, and in other case we have fx is positive throughout the interval a infinity. So that's the contradiction to our assumption. So our assumption is false, therefore the limit must be non-negative. So this is the basic results for the limits at infinity. So these are main few points for the limits of a function. I have already discussed basic things in last 4 parts, and this is the 5th part of this lecture series. So thanks a lot. I will try to explain and upload many more videos on continuity differentiability later on. Thanks.